dots at 6%? Parking under a tree was not good at all. It's disgusting, but I mean, now like the maps aren't even working. Like, what is going on here? Reset the car. And we already have this popping up, stay below 70 miles per hour to reach your destination. So we're gonna try to make the stretch, 234 miles. And we started driving, and within 5 minutes, it dropped from 10% down to a 3% arrival. Are there people actually parked in the superchargers? 200, 217, 232, 1,000 plus miles. If you wanna park really close to the curb, but don't wanna curb your wheels, back in. The slightest motion of your foot. Yeah, there he is right there. It's just not connecting. Wait a minute. Did I say good chargers? All right, so it is 5:13 a.m. We are checking out. I've made another horrible miscalculation. I thought parking under a tree would be good for some reason, but apparently trees in Texas just rain dirt, as the entire front of the car is just covered in like dirt, and I don't even know what this is. But we're leaving at 5 a.m. because I'm trying to not make any miscalculations this time around. And 19 hours, that should put us home at roughly midnight, which is perfect for us. This hotel has chargers, but it's a charge point. Let me face this way. It has chargers, but it's a charge point, and they're charging me 35 cents a kilowatt hour. That's more than some superchargers charge. We did see cars parked there overnight, so I don't know if ChargePoint like charges, I don't know if they charge idle fees. So people may have just been parking there and then just like letting it charge up and then just having it hold. But even then, I mean, if they were doing it for like the convenience of the parking being at the front of the hotel, all the parking's at the front of the hotel. Like the back part of the parking is like, it's just empty. The car's not fully charged. We're at about 60-some%. We tried stopping last night at a supercharger, but the supercharger on like one of the south side of Austin superchargers, I was just stuck pulling nothing but just straight 30 kilowatts. And at one point it was stuck at like 10. So we're hitting the road at 60%. Let's go ahead and let's hop in the car. We're packed up. It's the same situation as the last one. Just a few bags in the back. It's just me and the lady. So let's get on in. 55% Sentry mode used overnight. It looks like that our first stop is going to be in, let's see, Waco, and then Royce City, and then Hope, Brinkley. However, as you all know, last time, what it originally showed at first was not what it wanted us to do. It kept changing like 5 minutes into each drive, 10 minutes into each drive. But we're hoping, because we're not starting at, 15 degrees Fahrenheit and the efficiency isn't all over the place, we're hoping that this stays pretty consistent. But we're gonna go ahead and get on the road. Also, FSD in Austin is fantastic. Like, it truly is great. I had no idea where I was going yesterday, and it took every exit it needed to take, did every turn. It was perfect. But let's hit the road. Well, that was interesting to say the least. The way to get in here is as you are coming off of the off-ramp. So I missed the turn, pulled in like way back there, couldn't figure out how to get around. It wanted me to get back on the interstate when there's a turn in right over here. We're at I believe there's multiple in Waco. Oh no, this is the only one. Yeah, no, we did not stop here last time. I thought we stopped in Waco last time. We didn't? Huh.
We stopped in Abbott.
Oh, okay. But these are all 250s, 22 stalls. There's a few people here. We arrived with 4%. We were doing good, and then there toward the end, I kind of just started ripping it. I'm not gonna lie. 332. Yeah, you can kind of see where, yeah. And that's, I don't know, I think that's what makes road trips, at least for me, go by so fast in this car, is that I can autopilot for like an hour, and then I'll do like 20 minutes of manual driving. And it's just refreshing because the car is fun to drive, and then it's also really good at just driving itself, so. That's not 250. There's a bakery, and then there's a hotel, and that's pretty much it. So not the best stop. Though it feels kind of weird to do, like going into like gas stations with like an electric car. Some people that I've heard just won't even do it, which I think is kind of weird, but I prefer my superchargers to be either next to some sort of store. Where I'm from, they're in the parking lot of Myers, which are perfect. But if not, then I prefer them just to be like next to like gas stations and stuff, because I mean, there's no kind of alternative right now for EV charging, or, you know, unless they start setting up like little stalls and stuff that you can like go and like buy stuff, use the bathroom. But 250, 10%. Our next leg to Royce is hour and 54 minutes, 125 miles. I tried calculating us to, actually, let me see if I can redo that now. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, for some reason this right here was just stuck calculating. So I ended up undoing it and then trying doing it again, but then it had us stopping at like another weird place. So I just manually went to Royce and waited for it to hit 10% arrival. Yeah, I mean, it's good chargers, but wait a minute. Did I just say good chargers? Well, it charged good, but yeah, disgusting. Let's get on the road. So because there was nothing next to that charging station over there, I stopped and now we're hitting the road. Made it. 35-minute charge, arrived at 10%. Looks like we need to charge up quite a bit. Let's see, that drive was 328. Was pretty much ripping it through Dallas, and but it looks like our last 30 miles actually weren't that bad. You know, something that I do really like is, and I don't know how new this is, but I don't remember it happening on the last road trip we did, is that the car will now merge or will change lanes away from merges. It doesn't always do it, but if it like sees a car coming out of a merge, it'll like lane change over, which I think is really, really nice. But let's get out. We're at Buc-ee's here in Royce, and this will be our last stop in Texas, apparently. After this, we got like a 3-hour. So we're gonna get everything we need here in that 30 minutes. That's pretty good parking right there. See, I always say, if you want to park really close to the curb, but don't want to curb your wheels, back in. Just back in everywhere. You have cameras that show you how close your wheels are, your back wheels, and then you just line up your front wheels. It's so easy. 200, 217, 232, 1,000 plus miles, 35 minutes. That should be enough time to get everything we need. Mm-hmm. Are you getting food?
Yeah. In a big old cinnamon roll.
Stop. So, made it back, 3%. You all know the drill. We're gonna wait till that hits up to 10 or till we finish eating. So we went into Buc-ee's and like always, spent more than what we had anticipated. Let's see, we got a bean potato. This is hers. It's something like taco. I got the Beast burrito. Beast Cybertruck Beast burrito. I saw it. I thought it was kind of ironic. So, and then a cinnamon roll.
That is leaking everywhere.
Is it really? Of course you got something that's leaking. Okay, crisis averted. It all came out. And then I got a ham, egg, cheese croissant. I mean, yeah, there's I think there's 8 stations here, $2.50. You all saw this on the way here, and it's in a Buc-ee's parking lot, so literally everything you need. I'm a big sucker for anything Christmas themed. I don't know what it is. So we got some Christmas shirts and some sweatpants. They're Buc-ee themed, but they're Christmas Buc-ee themed. So we just finished eating and we're charged up to about 15%, but we haven't hit the continued trip just yet. So let's go ahead. Let's get unplugged. Always great charging at a Buc-ee's. And this is our last stop in Texas, so goodbye, Texas. Hello. Literally the nothingness that is Arkansas. I didn't realize it, but Arkansas is really just flat and nothing, huh? 332 watt-hours per mile. And let's head out. We have made it pretty much with exactly what it told us we were going to ride with, 15%. Let's see here. 288, doing pretty good. I did have to make a pit stop to use the bathroom, and I originally saw one exit. It was just it just looked like a really nice truck stop, and I was like, no, I think I can make it. And then I literally got up to the exit, and I was like, no, I do want to go, but then it was too late. So I went at the next one. And the next one, this semi truck had an accident in front of the on-ramp. So I had to sit, and we ended up burning an extra 5 minutes. But yeah, better efficiency. I mean, it's 64, it's nothing crazy, but this was the same charger that we hit on the way here. It's a 250. It's in a nice location too. You got a gas station, Wendy's, Baskin Robbins. There's a ton of stalls. Great little spot. There's some other people here charging. We're probably gonna clean the car out. Yeah, we've already ramped to 250. And we'll be here for, it says 25 minutes. And yeah, see, it tends to do this where it just won't load this for some reason. It just won't load the arrival. And if I was to cancel it after letting it charge for probably 5 or 10 minutes, it would route us to a different one that our current state of charge would be able to get. It's really weird how it works. Now it's saying 35 minutes. Huh. We're back in the car and still just nothing. I don't know, the in-car nav, while it gets you where you need to go, and you could totally just go off this, the whole weirdness with the trip planning is, I don't remember it being this bad on our last trip. It's still calculating, and more than likely I'm gonna have to just cancel this and just manually route to Brinkley. So going up pretty fast here, but it's gonna show you I went ahead and I canceled the trip, and now we're just gonna route right to Brinkley. We could go to, we probably have enough charge right now to make it to Little Rock, as that is only about 93. Yeah, we definitely have enough charge to make it there. However, that's only a 150, and it looks very busy, where one in Brinkley is the one that we stopped at last time, and it was essentially dead empty. And even now during like, you know, noon, there's 5 stalls available, and it's a 250, and that's 160 miles away. And let's see if this works. Yeah, so it immediately, and then look at that, like we're ready to go. So let's go ahead, let's hop out, and let's continue trip. I'll get unplugged. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the routing. Oh, this one's weird. Yeah, the car in the sun. Parking under a tree was not good at all. It's disgusting, but I mean, I'm not gonna stop and wash it or anything. 2 hours and 28 minutes. This actually might be I think this is a little bit longer stretch than last time. Or was last time like 235?
230 something.
They're essentially about the same, 174 miles, so let's go. We ended up making a little pit stop because I had to use the bathroom. I love stopping at truck stops. The bathrooms are always so nice. I think that's why. But we also have a little dilemma. And we started driving, and within like 5 minutes, it dropped from like 10% down to like a 3% arrival, and then it tried routing us in Little Rock. So I manually routed back, and it went back to saying 10%, and then within 5 minutes it dropped back down again. But it hasn't popped up with the whole like stay below 70 to reach your destination, nothing like that. But I've been like drafting behind like semis and doing like 70, and here's our current efficiency, which I actually think we're below our rated. Let's see if we can make it, because I'm not stopping in Little Rock, so. Dots at 6%? Oh yeah, we're fine. Wait, actually, I want to see. Yeah, that's kind of weird to see dots at 6%. Let's put our destination back in. Looks like we need to charge here for 25 minutes. Okay, actually looks like it did the calculation this time, so that's good. Oh, I wasn't in park. Thank goodness for the auto park. Oh, we were here at the last one, so, or during part one, we were here. It's a 250, 8 stalls. There's stuff here, but it's like restaurants. I don't know, you all know me. I'm a sucker for close gas stations. And then this thing just kept on dying. Well, it did calculate, and now it's back to not being calculated. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it said 45%. So, where do you want to walk to? That supermart back there? So it turns out, the Fred's Super Dollar has been closed for quite some time now. Yeah, you did forget the Buc-ee's cup. So we walked over there to some grocery store. Man, let me tell you, they had just what I needed.
7 minutes.
Fingernail clippers, because I hate having hangnails, and I forgot to cut my nails before we left for this. She's gonna take over for this leg of the trip, which looks like it's calculated now. 2%, we're at 6 minutes left remaining. However, we're gonna overcharge a little bit. We'll probably let that get up to like 15%. But after this, Jackson is looking like a 20-minute charge. So this is the last charge in Arkansas, and then after that we got one in Nashville. But the one in Nashville looks like we'll charge there. That will definitely not be our last stop, because right now I think it's taking calculations on my superb efficiency at 228, which is below the rated. The rated is 235. And if we come over here, look here, since our last charge we averaged 237, current drive 234, because we did have to make that pit stop. And then we've gotten our average all the way down to 318. All right, 20%. Didn't take that long. We're at 70. So let's go ahead and let's hit it. No, I feel good enough to where I could do this leg of the trip, but it's mainly, it just gets boring. Like, that's just all it is, because it's such an easy drive with you know, the car driving itself and everything. I'm getting tired because I'm bored, but all right. So I actually wanted to quickly mention my setup because I briefly mentioned it one time on Twitter or X, and it got a lot of likes and some people asking about it. So I've already done an entire video on mounting this up there. That's not really what it's about. It's about just the general setup that I run, which is a radar detector. This is the Uniden R8, but I also run Waze over there. And how I do it all, because I'm also navigating here, but Waze is navigating there, I'll put the destination that I'm going into on both. And keep in mind, I'm only ever running Waze if it's like a long trip like this. Around town, even upwards of like 30, 40 minutes out, I'm not running Waze. It's just not worth it. Like, I know the area pretty well. I'll just have my detector up. But for anything longer, I'll run both, and I'll put the destination for where I'm going into both. But because I want the Tesla nav doing the routing, because it has like the where it can calculate in like superchargers and everything, I don't want that talking. There's actually an option within Waze to where you can have it only announce alerts, right? So that's what I do. It never announces like turns or anything like that. And if I need to like stop at like a supercharger, like it'll just automatically like reroute and do its thing. It like, you never have to touch Waze. You just got to put it in once, and then sometimes it'll like turn off on its own, so you got to re-put it in like when you make a supercharger stop or something. But besides that, this is doing everything else. Now, another thing that I really like about Waze is that you can set it to where when it does announce alerts, it won't come through your car's stereo or your speakers. So if you're like listening to music or anything, it won't turn it down or interrupt it. It'll just talk over like what you're listening to. But I find that to be a lot better. So I actually have it set to where it comes out of the phone speakers. So when it like has an alert, like an object in the road or police or something like that, it'll only come out of the speakers on the phone. Now, of course, that's only if you're running like your music or something through like the built-in Spotify, Apple Music, or Tidal. If you're running it through your phone, then it'll interrupt. I was asked, why do I run both? And that's because, for example, we were just going through Arkansas, and they're one of the only states that run LiDAR. I don't know if they use laser, but they're one of the only states that will run LiDAR. And this is not detecting LiDAR. I would still like to know. Sometimes cops will literally just sit there. We're actually getting a KA reading right now coming up. As you can see, it's going, we just have it muted. And it's actually about to pop right over there. Someone has actually reported it, and you'll be able to hear it in action.
Police reported ahead.
Yeah. So if the circular part of the icon is on the right, then it's on the right. If it's on the left, then it's on the left. But police reported ahead. As you can see, KA is going crazy. The slightest motion of your foot, yeah, there he is right there. The slightest motion of your foot can be the difference between going the speed limit and going 20 over, you know? I love this setup. Like this setup, especially with the phone over there, that's Test Stuff's new magnetic phone mount, and it's super, hey, take that off and like re-snap it. Yeah, it's very snappy, and I'm using a clear case, which is polycarbonate, is not very grippy, and that MagSafe grips like crazy. But I just love the screen on the left, and then I got this, which is rotated toward the driver, and then I got that, and that screen is also tilted slightly toward the driver. I think that this right here is just a great driving setup. Do you enjoy the driving setup? Probably without the GoPro in your face, but yeah,
Minus that, yeah.
Okay, so made it to Jackson, 13%, 293 was doing good, and then started doing bad. That trip averaged at 270. It's saying that we're gonna only be here for 15 minutes. These are 250s. These were the ones that I was having problems with. No, this was the one that originally said it was closed. Plugged in. Good click. Charging. She's probably gonna do this next leg as well. Oh. You hear it spinning up out there. These were also the ones that we were having problems with, where I had to find 2 different stalls before it pulled more than like 70 or 80. I can't actually remember, but I know it wasn't full 250 and we were low. Let's check out where this next stop. It is 2 hours and 121 miles. Oh, that's actually not bad, 120. All right, that's probably why we're only here for 15 minutes. This next stop is in Nashville. Now, this is next to a Target and a Best Buy and a Buffalo Wild Wings. We might be able to go to like a Buffalo Wild Wings or an IHOP at this next one. Yeah, I think we're gonna wait to eat until we're at this next one, because this is much better food choices. I still don't know why it's saying that we only need 1 more stop. I don't know. It says that we're gonna need to charge there for an hour and 5 minutes. So it'll probably be like 100% deep charge. And let's see, our charge is complete, but it looks like it dropped down from 2 hours to 1 hour and 42 minutes. For some reason, it's routing without traffic.
Well, because it's taking us to a different charger.
What was the one that it was just routing us to then?
Nashville.
You all literally just got to see that like in action. The routing is so bad. And now it's trying to say that it's doing it without live traffic, but like we have signal, like it's just, no. So we're gonna manually route. Yeah, now like the maps aren't even working. What is going on here? Reset the car. All right, after a quick reset, it looks like it's fixed itself. And these times are definitely not right, because it says we're gonna arrive at this charger at 10:14 p.m. But then we're gonna arrive at our destination at 8:14 p.m. The navigation numbers here are so off. I just feel bad for people that might not like just trying to just put stuff in and go and not be rerouted 6 different times while they're in the middle of their drive. Well, we finally got it to work, but it's still saying it's routing with no traffic data. So maybe it's one of these weird things where the car needs to be put in like drive and then it'll work, and I don't know.
What's up?
Did it finally work? Mm-hmm. The second I unplugged. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just weird things like this. Like, sometimes the car needs to be in park. When I was trying to do the update, I literally had to go and drive for it to register my Wi-Fi for it to finally start updating the car. Like, it's so weird. And I know that I'm on like an FSD beta version, right? But it wasn't up until recently that all this started happening. 20%. That's apparently where we're gonna arrive at. 1 hour and 46 minutes, 121 miles. Let's go. By the time we get there, we should be in the time change. I believe Nashville is Eastern.
Maybe.
But I guess we'll find out. It was 16%. It's trying to have a stop in Elizabethtown. However, the original plan was to charge here for like an hour, a very, very deep charge, and then we just be able to go straight home. So there's like this is actually a pretty good place. There's like a Target, a CVS, there's like a Best Buy. It's the one here in Charlotte, on Charlotte Pike, and apparently there's like a Buffalo Wild Wings and a IHOP over in that direction. So we're gonna go try to find an IHOP. And I was telling her to back up more because this is not gonna reach. And she was very insistent on not backing up, and it's not gonna reach. So just back up until I tell you to stop. Come on, come on. You're nowhere near it. You're nowhere near it. Come on, come on. There you go. Contactors click or green. And let's see here. We are ramping 230, 246, 252. And we're just gonna let this thing charge and charge and charge. I actually believe I might pay for a part of this because I think that a majority of our miles have been used. But that's okay. So let's go get food because we're both starving. It's just not connecting. We're like 5-10 minutes away. It's not connecting. I don't know the charge status. Don't know if it's gonna alert me when it's done or not. It's just been super buggy. Like this whole trip has just been buggy after buggy after buggy. And here we are, about an hour later. We're charged up to We're charged up to 98%. Go ahead and get that closed and I'll get out and unplug it in just a second. And it's doing this stupid calculation thing.
Turn right onto Charlotte Pike.
And now it's trying to the whole routing without super. Dude, why is it doing this? I'm gonna see if we can't make it all the way without stopping. That would be cutting it really close. I think we can do it. We're gonna try to go for it. And let's just wait here until it hits like 99, 100, okay? It's like less than 5 minutes. And that'll put us at an arrival home of like, hopefully like 7%. At 7%, I'm pretty comfortable. Normally I'd be comfortable in general doing this, but we saw last time how at like 6 or 7%, I started getting dots. Oh, it was literally us. It always is. All right, there we go. So it just completed at 100, though. It looks like it's still pulling some. I don't know how like top calibration works because it used to say like calibrating, but it's still pulling a little bit. So we're at 306 miles on 100%, and we already have this popping up, stay below 70 miles per hour to reach your destination. So we're gonna try to make the stretch 234 miles, but if not, we do have a backup at like the 200 mile point. We can pivot, go slightly off, and hit a charger. So we're still pulling 11 kilowatts. And that may be from everything else, but we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get unplugged and we're gonna hit the road ASAP. Great stop, by the way. Great little stop. It actually wasn't even really close. 11%. 3 hours and 23 minutes spent, 229 miles, 277 watt hours per mile. I was actually doing over 70, and the estimated SOC kept like creeping up from like 10 to 12, 13, 14, 15, all the way up to 20, and then it just fell, and we ended up coming in at 11%. But I mean, that's still really good. All around, that was a good stretch. I went by a lot faster than I thought. Okay, so actually, let me turn this off real quick. All right, so I'm gonna have these stats for driving and charging on screen now. So about 16 hours driving and almost 3 hours charging. And we lined up all of our eating, snacks, bathroom breaks with our longer stops. So we were never really in the car for more than 5 minutes waiting for it to charge. I actually find charging stops to be perfect for me because I'm the type of person where I can only really do about 2 to 3 hours max of being in the car before I need to get out, use the bathroom, and stretch my legs. As for pricing, well, it was completely free thanks to you all using my referral. But had I not had that, it would have been roughly $70 to $80 per trip. So 160-ish total for round trip. Speaking of the trip, for anyone that cares, Texas was great. I honestly wish it wasn't such a last minute thing to where we could have booked more things to do in Austin. Like, I believe Joe Rogan had a show like that same week, but because it was so last minute, we were only there for that day and then right back home. Giga Texas was also really cool. However, I am from a place in Kentucky that has a pretty massive car plant, so I wasn't just awestruck like some of the people there seeing how cars get built. Like, I'm very used to seeing how cars get built. Now, in all honesty, the second part of the trip felt just about as bug and glitch filled as part one in terms of just all the little software problems that we were having. Now, I've since learned, after having Tesla do like remote diagnostics on my car to see if it was just a me thing, that it's not just a me thing, and a lot of people have noticed an uptick in just weird software bugs and glitches right before the holiday update and then going into the holiday update this year. Like, a really bad bug that I've been encountering is my car will just randomly stop recognizing my phone key, and I'll have to do a full reset of the car and of my phone and then drive for about 2 minutes, and then it'll start recognizing my phone key. But I do want to reiterate that at no point was I like, oh my God, I'm not gonna make it, what am I gonna do? And this might be weird to say, but I think we're at a point now that there are too many superchargers and the car's nav is just being overly cautious, which is definitely a good thing for new owners. But for more seasoned EV owners, it's kind of annoying to have your trip change like 5 minutes into driving when you know that you're gonna make it. And then you have to go in and re-navigate to where you were originally going. Hopefully Tesla just keeps working on the software, but all around a pretty successful trip. One thing that I don't think gets enough praise on road tripping Teslas is that it's very comfortable. Like, I'm always very comfortable doing these road trips. Maybe it's a combination of just, comfortable seats, tons of visibility so you don't feel cramped in. The fact that you're having to stop and, get out and stretch, walk around every 2 to 3 hours. It's just a very comfortable car to road trip, in my opinion. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. This will probably be the last road trip in this car before I get the refreshed Model 3 in. So yeah, here's to this car being absolutely fantastic and hoping that the next one is even better. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.